Hey, this is Ken M.
Padawan J.
Coach Duffy.
From the Ocho Duro Parlay Hour podcast. Every week, the ODPH is talking sports, movies, TV, comics, and more. It's always a parlay of topics on each episode. You can find the ODPH on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, and wherever you find great podcasts, such as the one you're listening to right now. Don't forget to check out OchoDuroParlayHour.com, where you can find the links to all of the ODPH social media accounts, links to the bands whose music you hear each week on the show, hashtag 607 podcast info, and parlay points, our companion blog section of the show. Thanks for listening to the ODPH. Now get back to your regularly scheduled podcast.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Adam Wenta, co-creator of Punk Taco, www.punktaco.com, and whatever you do, don't listen to Pint of Comics.
Hey there, this is John from Pint of Comics.
And I'm Lloyd, also from Pint of Comics.
And I'm the other John, and you get it by now. As you may know, we sometimes use language on this show that can be described as...
Filthy.
Okay.
Reprehensible?
Crude?
Sure.
Nasty.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, guys. We all know that it's just plain out gutter talk.
You've been warned. Listen in.
All right, we're back. I love saying we're back and just watching John's head shake. It's Pint of Comics here.
That's so awful.
Sir John.
Yes.
The Manster.
Yes.
Ganache.
That's you.
Lou Skywalker.
Enamored with my own singing voice.
You are. You've been.
I know.
We made the mistake of listening to a little bit of Kenny Loggins. We were watching the.
Is that Kenny Loggins? Or
It is. Kenny Loggins
He was
did
big in the
98% of all movie soundtracks.
In the
pretty
80s,
much,
yeah.
you're right. Yeah.
But let's count them off, really.
He broke
Footloose.
off from Jim Messina and it was like, I'm going to go make some money now, you fucker.
Yeah, no more of that fucking your mama don't dance, your daddy don't rock and roll.
Which was my
We're going to do
sister's music. She
the
loved
theme
it.
to Caddyshack, right?
Yeah.
I'm All Right. He did the theme to Caddyshack 2, which was a little less known, but it was, I can't remember the name of the song. Footloose, of course.
Footloose, that's the best
And then
one.
Top Gun, you've got Playing with the Boys, you got Danger Zone. And
Let's also not forget Hulk Hogan's theme song. We're going to bring wrestling into it for 2 minutes.
well,
so
but that wasn't Kenny Loggins. That wasn't Kenny. That was
oh, no, that was
Rick
Derringer.
Rick
I'm an
Derringer.
idiot. I'm an idiot.
But now that you said
Did I
that,
play
all I can
that?
think about is
I don't know if I played it that night. I definitely recorded it. And
I think
was
he did.
going to play
I think
it.
Derringer did Demolition.
He did.
Song.
He did several.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I downloaded
I mean,
a whole bunch of Derringer that night.
I think
Sorry,
I
I have my 80s.
I think
my
I
80s
mentioned this
rock icons
briefly.
mixed up.
I think I mentioned this briefly. What
fucking show are we doing?
We'll get into that one
All
second.
right. Jesus
I think I mentioned it briefly, but you haven't lived.
Listeners are like, fuck you. What are you doing?
You haven't lived until you've been in a packed arena to see a wrestling event, and they drop that music before Hulk Hogan comes out.
It's
Oh,
insane.
when the people just cream in their jeans.
I
Insane.
honestly, there was just
Disgusting. Nuts.
jizz flying everywhere from the American males in the audience. This is 1987 approximately. My parents took me. I was about 12 years old. And
all the rat tails.
I saw one of those shows where Hogan was the main event. And when that
That's right,
music
brother.
when that music starts, the arena's already got electricity. They're waiting for him.
Watch that.
And then all of a sudden you
guy.
hear that bam. No, it's because it starts right. It's like I am a real American.
But it kicks in.
And then it kicks in, and then every guy in the audience is jerking each other off.
Have you ever? You never actually. Have you ever
man.
been? You probably weren't following it at that point. But have you ever been to an event where like Stone Cold was the main event?
No, that's long past my time.
And I'll tell you honestly, I've seen both, and it
Don't
was
you
almost
dare
equal.
say no.
It was really close.
Hulkamania ran
glass
wild, brother.
When that glass shatters, people go nuts.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Yeah.
They just did the Raw reunion not that long ago, and Stone Cold was like the last one to come out and do like his little speech. And to this day, that glass breaks, like that sound before his entrance music, and that whole place just went nuts.
If you've been following the Pint on Twitter, if you didn't know, we are now a wrestling twiddler because Lou takes it over, and we get all these followers that I think are gonna check out the next episode of The Pint and go, what the fuck is this black and white horror movie bullshit? I wanted to hear them talk about Hillbilly Jim and Coco Beware. Sorry about that accent, by the
Beware?
way.
Is that a real thing?
Oh, yeah, he's the Birdman.
Yeah, Coco Beware.
Dude, I
absolutely.
haven't watched wrestling
Junkyard
since
Dog.
1982, I think.
Coco Beware was
Beware.
30 years ago.
Yeah,
It
that was right in there.
85, 87.
All right, it was still after my time.
All right, let's get past all that. So, this episode is about what? Lloyd, where did we go last weekend? 1 week ago from today, as of recording, what started?
No wrestlers.
Yeah, no wrestlers.
No wrestling.
Yeah,
no, we went
not
to TerrifiCon 2019.
Man, oh man, did we
Yeah.
spend every
fucking minute there.
minute that
Yeah.
place was open? I think there was some version of the pint there. Except for, unfortunately, Chris couldn't make it, arguing with myself. Chris Rodell could not make it.
He was arguing with himself.
He was arguing with himself. But Lloyd, the Manster, Sir John, myself, Lou was there Saturday and Sunday. Me, Lloyd, and John were there.
G.I. Gary.
G.I. Gary was there for Saturday and a little bit of Sunday. My cousin Gary, the other Gary, was there for, I think, was it Saturday? Gary was there?
That was
Gary-
Friday.
Was that Friday?
Yeah, it was
Holy.
Yeah, we
Holy
those,
shit,
those
those
days
days
really blended together.
Literally
it was
blend
a
together.
blur.
I actually had a coworker there Saturday and Sunday, and he goes, "Oh, you would have loved it." I'm like, "Yeah, I was there." I'm like, "He's like, you were?" I'm like,
Here's some video
I'm all-
for you.
I'm like, "Yeah, no, I
How
totally
did you not
was." I
see
was
him?
like, how'd you not see
We
me?
were everywhere.
Yeah,
Mitch Hallock, our buddy, who's actually a like kind of a step away member of the Pint, because when I can't get to the radio show, Mitch has helped out an awful lot, and we've been quite friendly with him. He throws this show every year. This was the 5th year, correct, of actual TerrifiCon.
Is it?
I believe this was the 5th year of TerrifiCon.
Fifth true.
The 5th true
year.
TerrifiCon.
it
We won't get into
Trumbull,
but that was TerrifiCon. I think started at Mohegan
At
Sun.
Mohegan, yeah.
The Trumbull one was still Comic-Con, and Mitch wasn't necessarily the showrunner there. I've talked to him about it. He was like a promoter. So there's a whole thing. So TerrifiCon itself is on its 5th year, I believe, was this year. And it was August 9th through the 11th. It was last weekend.
Second year in its current location.
Second year in the same location, but in a
location.
new, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
it's the new convention center.
Convention center.
for the casino.
Mohegan Sun, yeah.
It was built specifically for the Barrett Auto Auctions.
Right.
Because it's that big. And he fills it very well.
And let's just say something to right off the bat to give Mitch credit where credit is due. That when it was in the ballroom, it was still a fucking fantastic show.
It was great. I kind of miss it. A lot of the vendors especially, they miss it because of the carpeting.
Yeah, the carpeting is nice.
I made a joke before TerrifiCon started this year to Mitch about getting carpeting, and he's like, "Fuck you, Johnson."
Yeah, how much will that carpeting cost?
He told me. I'm not gonna say it on the air.
Yeah.
it's a lot. It's a lot.
So three full days. Friday 2 to 8 o'clock, I believe. Saturday was the full day. It was 10 to 7.
10 to 7.
And Sunday was 10 to 5. And I think John and I left Sunday at like 4:30. So we literally were there for just about every
Yeah, we scampered out.
every hour of that show.
You were falling asleep.
Dude, you know what's funny is and I know you noticed it, and I would never have done it, but like I was struggling to stay awake on the last leg of the ride home.
No, I couldn't
shit.
tell at all.
Pine and Goblet's up in flames.
Oh,
on
I
the
know,
way
I know
home.
you know, because when John got out of the car, he said to me, he goes, "Stay awake," and I actually, so it was like 6 o'clock on Sunday night, and all I had to do was just drive home. And I was literally, as I was about to cross the Portland Bridge, going, I don't drink coffee. I was like, I might get a large coffee.
Yeah.
But as I was driving, I just said, okay,
Just would've kept you up.
you're good now. You're good now.
And what'd you do when you got home?
Fucking crashed.
Did you?
I got home, I ate dinner, and then I woke up on the couch at about 3 in the morning and got up and went to bed and then went to work the next morning.
I should say, too, because we didn't do the show on Sunday, the radio show, that thank you again, Psychedelic Rick, for filling in for us and playing an hour of the Ramones.
Yeah.
Oh,
which
good
you can
one.
still hear. I don't know when this episode will come out, but
Yeah,
by
this will be
then-
this week. You'll still be able to hear it.
Yeah,
I'm
you'll
putting
still be
this
able
one on
to
next week. So
go to the WESU archives, and it'll still be there.
yeah, Rick's the best. So
thanks
guys,
a lot,
let's go one by one around the table and just kind of get your thoughts on this year and what you thought about the show. Lou, what was your overall takeaway from the weekend?
it was really busy.
Yeah,
I was tired.
yeah.
That was a lot.
Well, you're carrying a 70-pound backpack.
Oh
Yeah.
my god!
And you don't put that down, man.
No, it was insane.
Yeah.
Well, we
I
should
mean, like,
say
it
that,
was
too.
it was packed and it was packed and it was busy and there were tons of people there and I'm not even going to take any credit. I mean, you guys were warriors. I don't know how you did it.
It's just
You did the same fucking thing.
My
You did it.
God.
You just do it.
You did the
It
same
was
thing, man.
insane.
We should say though, I mean, compared to last year where we had a physical location you could go to.
Yeah, we
find
did
us,
not. We were-
this year we were everywhere.
We were everywhere.
Yeah, it was.
I think
was
what
just-
saved me was the hour break, in the panel where you could actually sit
yeah,
down.
A couple
Those
of
are-
yeah.
panels,
Those-
were
this-
very important.
For
Yeah.
me, I'm not a big panel guy, and I did go to a few more this year than I probably have
Yeah, you
at any
disappeared a bit.
show, and that does help. And,
Yeah.
and those chairs in the panel rooms are very comfortable.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, aren't
pretty
they?
You were
awesome.
laying down in one of them. I saw you about that.
So okay. Besides what it was like physically and whatever, what did you think about the show? The show itself as a spectacle, as a spectacle.
I think having gone to as many of them as we have over all the years, you see all different kinds of shows, from the ones that are tiny where you're digging through long boxes, and the ones where you've got everything but comics. And I think the one thing that sets this one apart is the fact that it's a really large show in a really awesome venue with lots of free parking, which can't go, which
Fuck
can't,
yes.
That is
which
true.
can't be
Yeah.
understated.
Yeah,
Free parking.
That is a push.
That
yeah.
is completely and utterly focused on comics. And I know I'm tired, tying it back into the amount of interviews and the amount of people we talked to, but there were so many just hungry independent creators wanting to get their stuff out there and get the word out and doing their best, you know what I mean, to try and promote themselves. And it was just kind of humbling to be a part of that and to do whatever small part we could. I mean, in my mind, whatever small part we could to help get the word out about what they're doing.
I look at it this way. I mean, we get these press badges, and that's a gift to us from Mitch and the promoters. We're there to assist in doing that.
Right.
So that's our payback.
Yeah.
And I think we did a pretty fucking good job.
I think so too.
I think we're helping bringing it to the masses. Like you were saying about the hits on the radio or on the YouTube. I could not believe that we've got that many hits on the videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, some of them. I mean,
And,
solid
that means
hits.
more people know about this than did before.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a lot of
It's a symbiotic too, because
Yes.
more people know about us, more people know about him, and more people know about obviously TerrifiCon. And TerrifiCon is the number one goal for us, is people to find out about that.
Yeah.
But it sure don't hurt that they're finding out from us.
Sure.
All right, John, what did you think?
I loved it again. I mean, it's still one of the best shows it's the best comic book show in New England I've been to. There are so many options for anybody. Obviously, if you saw my video with Howard Chaykin, where you get to see where my personality lies at this point. He's my hero right now for a number of reasons.
I didn't mean to be rude and not do that video. I was afraid of dealing with Howard Chaykin. That's what I said to Lou. I said,
I
yeah.
loved it.
I said Lou could do, or I said John could do it, because I just, sometimes when you get those personalities and
You could tell he's a kindred soul to you.
yeah, I
At
was,
this point,
Yeah.
when I was younger, definitely not. But then at this point now, in the way that I look at the industry, I'm pretty much in the same boat with him. I look at it the same way. I may still read the super. Sorry, not superheroes. The guys with the things coming out of their fucking eyes.
The shit coming out of their eyes.
Yeah,
is
the
how we
shit
said
coming
it.
out of their-
yeah, because you guys also went to a panel of
Yeah,
his.
we went to his panel.
And he did say the same thing there at the panel too. So it was. That's pretty much where I got the line from, and it was awesome. What did he call me? Not a sucker. He called me.
Yeah, a sucker.
Did he call me a sucker?
Yeah.
Oh, he basically called all people that buy superhero comics.
Well, yeah, no,
suckers.
which is what I was bringing up. Like,
Said you're weaning yourself off, but you're taking too long.
yeah. He called me old.
Hey, he's old. He can call you old.
Well, yeah, he doesn't even give a fuck.
Yeah.
It's great. But I implore everyone that reads comics to read his comic. Hey Kids Comics is fantastic. It's a wonderful read. It is what comics were, and will be. And he's got 2 more
Boom,
volumes
drop
to
the
tell.
mic.
Drop the mic. Yeah.
But yes, I loved everything else. I mean, it was great. I enjoyed seeing a lot of old friends, and missed out on quite a bit because I was too busy talking with a lot of old friends.
Yeah. Well, that was a wonderful part about it. Lloyd, what were your thoughts?
Oh, it's great. I love going to this one. It's such a great venue. It's large enough to be a big con, but small enough to still feel intimate.
It's super.
know?
It hits like the sweet spot.
And it's got just the right amount of celebrities in there. There's not too many. It's not a celebrity con. It's still a comic book con.
Right, which is rare nowadays.
Unless you talk to Alan Kupperberg, who doesn't like it.
Yeah.
Well, he thinks there's too many, or
He thinks there shouldn't be any at all.
well,
But
Yeah, but it draws more people.
Yeah, I don't want to jump.
Well,
into
that's the
Mitch's.
thing. He thinks it draws more people that go to that rather than to the comic book people.
No.
I would
I don't
disagree.
think not in
I
this
would
case.
strongly disagree.
Because I think this is just the perfect size.
Yeah, I think he's just an irascible little
The lines,
bastard, so.
the lines for the celebrities to
not that
me
long.
were never as long as the lines for Tom King or for any of those the
right.
bigger.
Fucking
Those
Chris
big ones.
Claremont
Chris
had a
Claremont.
massive
Yeah,
line.
Alan Davis.
I don't think Jerry Ordway.
Yeah,
Well,
Our
yeah,
friend Jerry, man, he
Ordway
was-
barely ever got up from the chair. I mean, it was
Right.
amazing.
he was always there signing.
Yeah, always.
So, Lloyd-
he said on Twitter that he barely had a chance to draw anything. He was so busy signing
Yeah,
stuff.
I saw that.
So
if you were not a part of the Pint and you weren't given one of these press passes, would this be something that you would cut out multiple days for to go to?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. You know what I really like too is seeing like the more independent artists like in between like some of the bigger artists out there and Artist Alley. You know, like Todd Bot that we saw. and,
Toddbot, yeah.
yeah,
You know,
first
Patrick.
show.
And you know what I saw a lot of at this show?
A lot of people's first show.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's
And
kinda cool.
something I saw a lot of at this show, I saw a gentleman sitting down talking to Ron Garney, and I saw a gentleman talking to...
Wait a minute. Ron Garney is the best.
Yeah, we'll talk about Ron in a minute.
All right.
Ron is the best. I saw a gentleman sitting down. Is people sitting with artists going through their portfolios?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I saw Ron did it with a gentleman. I saw a couple other people talking to people about them trying to break into like we saw it at BoomTube during the last event when Jerry Ordway talked to that young guy Evan who was writing that book, and Jerry talked to him for like 25 minutes about. And I saw multiple cases of that where I saw like.
And I remember a time when these guys wouldn't even talk.
Wouldn't talk to you, but like at a show like New York, you're never.
No, you're never gonna.
You know,
get
can
anyone.
I sit down to talk to you about this? And even if they
gotta
want
make
to,
an
it's like,
appointment.
you got to get the fuck out of
Yeah.
here because I got 85 sketches to do and I got 9,000
Yeah.
things to sign here.
It's a
And
great
they were-
open forum, you know.
and they were busy there, but like there was always that nice level of like lulls, like super busy and then sketching and chilling out and had time to hang out and everything.
I like Jim Steranko. Now he was one of the headline guests for comics, and he was busy all weekend, but he was at his table all weekend.
Yeah.
The guy, he just has energy going on forever. It's amazing.
Yeah, it was my personal opinion about the show is lame as whatever. We joke around about my my work situation and how I haven't been able to do the radio show, and obviously my personal life is a little toilety right now. It may have been my favorite 3 days at a
You
con.
need some poopery.
It may have been my favorite 3 days at a con that I've spent maybe ever.
Well, I think
Yeah, it was great.
It was. I admit I was fucking dead tired on Sunday, and as a matter of fact, I was talking to somebody on Saturday night. I don't remember who it was, and they're like, "Oh, you coming back tomorrow?" And I said, "In all honesty, if John and everybody here said we're not doing tomorrow, I don't think I'd cry about it." But now that I think about it, I'm like, "Fuck yes, I would have gone back."
Look at who you
That
missed.
was great. And yeah,
Yeah.
we brought Sophie Sunday as well.
and we brought.
She earned that press badge.
shout
Holy
out to
cow.
her because I worked
Yeah.
her hard.
She enjoyed
She
it a
took
lot.
pictures and she did everything.
She came home
was an
Sunday night.
assistant.
She
It was
had
awesome.
a big smile on her face. She's 14 years old.
Sophie
I still tuck her in bed at night.
Is daughter of Manster.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
And she helped us on Sunday. She took pictures for Lou, and she kind of lugged gear, and she very strangely ate a salad. Your daughter ate a salad very strangely.
She's a very healthy eater.
No, she is, but she ate all the chicken off at first.
Yeah.
And then I watched her. She hunted and pecked at certain pieces of lettuce that looked just like other pieces of lettuce. And then she made the craziest like thing I've ever heard about a salad. She said she didn't like croutons. It's like if I could
Yeah,
just
she
eat,
didn't open a
if I
crouton
could eat a
package.
bowl of croutons, I would. This is also why I'm a fucking
Dried bread. You like dried bread.
I do like dried bread. I don't want to get away with. We mentioned, G.I. Gary was there. We mentioned, my cousin Gary. We mentioned Sophie. I don't want to get away without mentioning that Jody, Lou's wife,
yeah.
was
Saturday.
aces on fucking Saturday, helping out with taking videos and doing everything that she needed to do just to kind of earn that press badge. And she did it, and she did it with a smile. And she said to me at one point, "If you need lunch, I'll go get it," which I never asked her for.
Yeah,
but I was
she
like,
was great.
"Holy
She
shit!"
offered
Even
up
when I needed to take
her
him
services for everything.
Yeah.
When I needed to take my medicine Saturday, that onion salad came in.
Holy shit!
Yeah, Lou got a salad that was really just onions with a side of
I'm
lettuce.
pretty sure
Yeah, it
there
was
was
pretty
like, I'm
bad.
pretty sure it was the inverse of a regular salad, where a regular salad is like 85% lettuce and then other toppings, maybe 5% onions. Lou's salad, we're in our friend Chad Davis's first of two game show type panels he did. Yeah, no, and Lou's sitting like 3 away from me. Joey from So Wizard is sitting next to me, and all of a sudden I realized that Jody went and got Lou food, but I didn't, not paying attention to it. And then all of a sudden, as I'm watching, I just get this odor of fucking onions. And I'm nervous because I remember reading somewhere that if you smell certain things, like it's a stroke. Like I think it's almonds or something could be the sign of a stroke.
I smell onions.
And I'm like, oh shit, I'm smelling onions.
Lou's going down.
I'm going down. And then I look over and Lou is fucking is horsing down like a fucking plate full of onion. And
well, this medicine I have for my back, I got to take it with.
oh no, you got to take it with pure.
Now wait a minute.
Pure onion.
Does lettuce count as food? As if I have to eat food with this?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'll count it as food.
All right.
Well, it's food.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's water. It's crunchy water.
It's crunchy water. All right.
We should just say this real quick. I mean, for Chad's 2 shows that he did.
Yeah.
A lot of people, I think, backed off on the panel about podcasting when it's not actually a panel on podcasting. It's a version of his podcast on stage.
It's a version of his podcast. It's a game show.
So I implore people for next year if he does it
I
again.
hope more people come next year.
And
They're going to have a lot of fun
it's
if they do.
funny and it's a good hour break from walking around on a concrete
And
floor.
I don't think that he didn't. I don't think that there weren't as many people as we would have liked to have seen at either one of them.
Sure.
Because it was a bad show or it wasn't.
It might have been timing.
It wasn't put out there. I think it was just because when you go to a show like that, you're not thinking of the
You're
panels.
losing track of time.
You're losing track of time.
A lot of people do think about the panels. Yeah, they really do. And
I guess though a part of it is if it's not like Jim Steranko talks about Thanos,
right.
It's like Chad Dizzle Davis. Well, unfortunately, if you're not one of us,
right,
you might not know.
And it's up against whoever he's up against. Like he was up against the Twisted Tunes.
Wasn't it Billy D. Williams on Saturday? I thought that was going on.
I think Billy D. Williams might have been the same time.
It's hard. The panels are hard. I mean, if you're being drawn to one big panel, all the others are going to suffer.
He put on 2 excellent shows.
And I wanted to say this for Mitch's panel schedule. It's grown immeasurably over the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of it has to do with just the ability to have more and more and larger panel-sized rooms. I mean, you can get
it was a decent amount of panel
You
rooms.
saw the size of that place when we walked in for Howard Chaykin.
Yeah, that was a large room.
There were 3
Ballroom
columns of
B, I think.
Yeah, it was 3 columns of chairs that were marked off for VIP only. And I get in there and I see those and I go move back and I hear him get up on stage and he goes, "Hey, you people that are sitting down away from the VIP seats, move the fuck up here. Fuck those chairs." He goes, "Fuck those things." So I'm like, yay! And I moved up.
The poor VIPs had to sit in John's lap.
Yeah.
Oh God, there were so many chairs there. It's nuts.
Well, I remember the size of it was 2 years ago when we saw the Crisis on Infinite Earth panel.
It was
that was
a large room.
3-4 times bigger than that.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Holy shit!
Easily.
Yeah, it was much bigger than that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Those 2 panel rooms are massive.
Yeah, Peeping Frog, that was a pretty great room. And I did want to mention for anybody out there listening that on the Chad Sunday show, which I was a part of, I won.
And I was pissed in that one because he didn't pick you to choose first.
Well, not only that, but you were way behind at one point.
I was getting my ass kicked by a couple of really good comedians.
Yeah.
Laura Manasuich and Catherine Geronimi.
Yep.
Yeah, both really funny people. So that was a lot of fun. So what else did we do on the at the show? Let's Lou, why don't we go through some of the people that we met or talked to? You've got a list. So why don't we give them shout outs real quick?
Yeah.
And tell everybody, where to find them. So who do we got? What do we talk
Just
to?
start at the top and work our way
Start
down.
at the top and work our way down.
Joel Adams.
Joel Adams, who was the first 3 years of King of the Hill. He was the character designer.
Character.
Yeah.
Yep.
Where the hell was I for that?
That was Sunday. It was
You were standing nearby.
Who the fuck was I talking? Oh,
Right behind us, there was some.
was that when I was talking to
It was
Barry?
right after Jim Calafiore. You might have been talking to Barry. Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
yeah.
And I just want to say real quick before we do actually hit deep into this list that all of these interviews are on our Facebook page, and then
Well, YouTube. You put them on YouTube.
Well, no, they're individually on Facebook. And then what I did was I collected all of them into an 1.5 hour long
Yes.
video.
Oh, wow.
And put it on YouTube. And there's timestamps in the actual
Oh,
description, so you can skip.
All right.
Yeah, so if you're not interested in one person, you want to check out another person, check it out.
Thank
yeah,
you,
definitely.
Narragansett.
Jim Calafiore.
Yeah, Jim Calafiore, John instigated us talking to him, and he's awesome, and he drew The Exiles, which I loved, and what was his book called? It's
that I have pages for?
that you have pages for.
Yeah, which I've run into him at many, many shows, and he had forgotten that we used to correspond when he was doing this book for Caliber Press back in the early 90s. It's called Camelot Eternal.
Right.
And he sent me 2 pages of it after the book's cancellation. He's never been close enough to me that I could bring them out and say, "Hey, look what you sent me." until this year.
Yeah, we got to see a little bit of John's fanboyism this weekend.
yeah.
Which
A
we've
little
never
bit.
seen before.
Well, especially for J. Michael Straczynski.
J. Michael Straczynski is the only time I've ever seen John in line for a creator to get something
He
signed.
was trying to get me to buy the book.
Yeah, I know.
You
I know.
should buy the book. It's a good book.
I know.
John was telling me about the book on the ride back and forth one of the days, and I realized that there's no way I want to read this fucking book. This guy,
It's depressing.
Straczynski, check his book out if you're a fan, because if you think you had a hard life, man, this guy's got, there's Nazism involved. That's all I'm going to say. There's Nazism involved.
And more than that.
Yeah, it
called
gets a
Being
little weird.
Superman.
It gets
Yeah.
weird.
It's his autobiography. Yeah.
But he's obviously, if you don't know, he's the creator of Babylon 5, which is one of John's favorite shows of all time. I know this because when I helped John move a few years ago, I had to move one of John's in his kitchen. He had like a dresser, not a dresser, a fucking
bookshelf.
a bookshelf, but it had drawers.
A bookshelf.
Well, no, but it had drawers, and when I opened the drawers, like one of the drawers that you would have, like, I don't know, like fucking screwdrivers and like weird shit, it was filled with Babylon 5 novels. Yeah, like,
All right.
like fucking 12 of them.
Well, I had nowhere else to put him.
It's all right.
Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But getting back to Jim Calafiore,
Yes.
Oh, here we go.
I'd also like to say that
Lou,
he is-
reining it back in.
Well, no, I also want to say that he's a Giants fan, so you know
Oh,
he's
yeah.
a wonderful
Yeah.
human being.
Yeah.
Very intelligent.
I do want to say that was
God.
one of
And
the
I
most
love that.
interesting conversations
So-
I've ever seen happen at a show where we're talking about nerd stuff and then suddenly it flips to sports.
Yeah.
And we're just getting heavily into it. And
He is not a fan of Dave Gettleman, that's for sure. The beleaguered GM of the New York Giants.
Oh, so much fun. But he's going to be on the radio come September, so
Okay, yeah, and he has a. Did we write the? Oh, shit, did we have the name of the his Kickstarter?
it's
Ned?
Beatty.
no, it's Ned,
Nelson.
Lord of.
Lord of the. Yeah, fuck. We'll get right back to that.
Lose
in a
on
second.
it.
It's
Lose on it.
It's on the Facebook page. I
Yeah.
posted a link to it.
Well, check it out. Lou,
Yeah.
before you go to that, we'll get to that in a little bit. Go back to whoever's next
What a
on
bunch
here.
of morons we are.
Well, the important part to know is that if you're a Jim Calafiore fan,
Flander?
he has a Kickstarter.
Yeah, he does have a Kickstarter, and it is early into it. So.
All right, who's next, Lou?
Javon Stokes from Visually Stoked Media.
That's
that
right.
was your very last interview on Sunday.
Very last interview. Javon is a very cool guy who does everything for his book.
He does it all.
Heat. And he draws it, he writes it, he colors it, he letters it, and he's just a very cool guy. And we had never corresponded. In the weeks prior to the show, he had sent either through our Facebook page or our email. He had sent us a couple of interest in couple letters of interest in us talking at some point. With everything going on with my work, I'd never gotten back to him, but I knew we would see him at TerrifiCon, so I felt pretty confident we would be able to talk to him. And Visually Stoked Media. All right, so it's okay. Here it is, Jim Calafiore's book that is currently on Kickstarter. If you want to check it out, and it has a very cool kind of comedy concept, but a little bit dark horror. Is called Ned, Lord of the Pit. So
Lord of
please,
the Pit.
please
There
check
you
that
go.
out.
I
Jim's
know
a
it's Lord of
really good
something.
artist, and he's a really good guy.
Yeah, he's worked for pretty much all the major publishers.
Yeah, he did Aquaman for a while, right?
Yeah, one of the best Aquaman runs of all time.
He's one of those artists too that, like, for me, he's immediately recognizable.
His art style.
His art style is
Yeah.
immediately recognizable. He's kind of got. He even said it kind of angular, maybe a little blocky on the face, and I don't mean that in a bad way.
It's
like,
changed
just
a
a
little bit
style.
over time.
very like lantern jawed characters.
So I when I whipped out those pieces of art of his, the 2 pages from Camelot Eternal, he looks at them. He's like, yep, that's mine.
Yeah, I don't think he was.
Typical artist is like, oh, God, I don't want to look at my old stuff.
Yeah, he made a comment about the elbow or something. He's like, "That's a little pointy."
Yeah.
Like, but you know that this is what 30 years ago, probably.
Yeah, 92.
92, and here's a guy 30 years later who's only had time to get better, who's still in the craft. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I can imagine. I mean, you know,
And starting at Caliber, like so many people did at the
Yeah.
time, and it's a big deal. And if you back issue hunters want to find it, Camelot Eternal, 8 issues from Caliber Press. It was a great series about post-war Camelot.
Post-war. All right.
yeah.
As if
They do a lot of collected stuff.
that's not going to be
It's
collected
not gonna
anytime
be
soon. But no. It's post-war Camelot if King Arthur had lived.
Okay.
So
All right.
it's a.
But back to Javon Stokes.
Oh, sorry.
It's really good.
That's what happens with the
Yeah,
Pine
That's what we do here, man. That's what we do here. All right.
Well,
Javon-
I mean, Javon
just on a
Stokes,
personal note, I'd have to say Javon Stokes was an awesome interview, even though it was like, I mean, you could tell that you were tired by the end.
I felt bad. I felt bad
know.
because I gave Javon my D game, and he didn't
I don't
deserve
even
it.
think, I don't
No,
even
I
think
was
it was
ser-
your D game. I think it was just. It's not that you were phoning it in. I mean, after the days we had,
Yeah,
you
it
were
was
tired.
tiring, but he was.
But
he was
his
a very cool
energy,
guy.
his energy level on a Sunday at that hour was absolutely,
And he even said-
incredible.
tough.
He even
you know?
said he was done. But you know
Yeah,
what?
but
Here's a guy who wants to make it, and he's doing everything he can to make
Doing
it.
it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, doing it from soup to nuts.
No,
you know,
yeah.
so to speak.
And he said if he had to, he would pick the art.
Yeah, we asked. I asked
Yeah.
him the question of if you got hired by a publisher, big, small, whatever, and they said we're picking you for one or the other. You get to write your own stuff or draw it. What would you do? And he picked art. So
Yeah.
he's I guess he's more on the art side. But hey, that's cool. No, the world needs all the artists it can get.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, who else we have, Lou? Who else we talk to?
Well, we finally got a good interview with Tim Jones.
Tim Jones. Yeah. Well, we talked to Tim at
Was that the
Plastic City.
Donut Girl one?
Yes.
Yeah.
At
Well,
Plastic City?
no, that was Keith Leeson.
Oh, that was
Well,
someone
Keith
else.
Gleason,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
but we talked to Tim, but it
Tim
was
Jones was Tim. Well, let's give a little background because Tim will talk about. Tim had a heart attack like 2 months ago.
Oh, shit.
And he was at Plastic City like within weeks of that.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he's normally a quiet guy, but I had said to him we didn't have the whole mic set up yet the same way, and Plastic City was a little loud. And I had said to him, I said,
Well, because it was in that ice rink.
it was an
and
ice rink, and
everything was echoing.
It was echoing.
Yeah.
And I said to him, I said, you got to kind of talk up a little bit. And as we were talking, I was one of those days where I wasn't in the mood to keep correcting people. And I knew as I was talking to him, this is probably not coming through great. And I didn't want to stop him 5 times. And Lou kind of looked at me when it was all done. And I'm like, did that go through? And he's like, we'll find out. It did not go through. So Tim has been very cool. Tim is in 28 newspapers across the country.
I believe it's
California,
Rhode
Island.
Island, Mass, California.
and growing.
And growing. And he's part of the, I'm going to get this wrong, but like the National Cartoonist Society now.
Okay.
He's actually going to be at, I think, Rhode Island or New York
a-
Comic Con in their,
It's a big deal.
yeah. He's going to be a part of that at one of the bigger cons coming up.
I can't see Rhode Island doing that, but
Yeah,
not-
it might be New York.
Not to shit on Rhode Island or anything.
Yeah.
But,
Well,
but Tim's another guy who's passionate about what he does.
yeah.
I never say bad things about Rhode Island Comic Con at all.
He's got a book called Sour Grapes, and
Burn that bridge.
it's a comic strip in a newspaper about a flying dog named Aesop. And we got a good interview with him. We were able to talk to him, and Tim's very cool. Check him out. Sour Grapes. What else?
Travis Holyfield.
Travis Holyfield, which is a name that I was familiar with because Andrew Morgan and Jerry Morgan are friends with him. And a while ago,
I did not know that.
Yeah, Andrew Morgan had said to me a while ago, if you're going to do a Pint Movie Invitational or a comic related show, you should ask Travis because he's a big fan. And I didn't realize that he was a writer. And Tom Ryan, our buddy, TomRyanStudio.com, Tom Ryans with 2 S, studio.com, said you should.
Pillion
Miss Pillion beer.
Is that stuff cold yet?
It is freezing. It's in the, we'll drink some of it
Oh, yeah.
tonight.
All right.
We'll drink some of it tonight. He said you should talk to these guys over here, and I didn't realize it was Travis Holyfield. I knew it was Street Clothes. So Travis has a book he writes called Street Clothes, which did you buy that one or you bought Doberman?
I bought the 2 issues of Doberman that he had, and I fucking loved them.
You loved it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I was about to put you on the spot and ask
Yeah.
you.
Oh,
if you read
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So Doberman is a
Doberman.
Yeah, Doberman, right?
It's a Batman and Robin, pretty much. What do you call
Kind of like I get what you're saying. I can't
Yeah,
get the word.
An homage to Batman.
an
and
homage to
Robin.
Batman and Robin. It's very like 66, and it's fucking great. It's so good. I love the dog puns that are in it.
Yeah, he did say
You know,
he said he had a
and
great,
I
great
like
time.
the art. I don't have it with me. I forget the artist's name, but he's in I think South Carolina,
Okay.
and terrific art. I love the style, and I love the writing.
And that
It
was
a
more
great
of
2
a
books.
lighthearted book.
Yeah, it was a
And
lighthearted,
Street Clothes-
all ages book.
Street Clothes was more of a. I think he said it was basically like if a superpowered villainess came back from like retirement.
Yes.
And was like kind of like an operative, like a black ops operative type of thing.
Yeah.
I'm probably screwing it up a little bit. As a matter of fact, he said he's gonna. I haven't talked to him yet. He said he's gonna send us some PDFs to check it out. So
Yeah.
we'll be looking at that.
One more thing about
yeah, yeah.
Doberman. I tweeted out a picture, one panel in the book. You know, the construct of the book is
I did see it. Yeah.
they're dog heroes, right? They're men, but they're dog heroes. And when they drive their version of the Batmobile,
Stick their head out the
they
window.
each stick their head out the window.
That's great.
All right, you got us, Travis.
And I apologize for autocorrect. Darren from Ahoy Comics. Deron.
The less we say about that, the better.
Deron.
Yeah,
All right.
Deron.
I'm sorry, I should have given you that.
No, that was
in my
my fault.
Yeah, that was no one's fault. That guy on Twitter was kind of a dick. But let's just be honest about that.
Well, no, because honestly, I had it right because he had the thing. But like when you're typing on the go and I'm trying to post stuff as we're walking,
I didn't know it was
flips around.
Deron. In all honesty, if I had put it up, I would have put Darren as well. Lou put
I don't know the story here. What's going on?
The guy, Darren from Ahoy.
Ahoy, yeah.
Lou actually didn't do that. Lou typed it correctly.
But did that guy know that? Did that guy know you didn't make a mistake? Did that guy know you didn't make a mistake?
Well, no.
So was that just a douchey Twitter comment? Do the yes. Yeah. Well, that was a douchebag on Twitter. That's all that was.
No, but I mean, I want to apologize. I don't like getting somebody's name wrong.
We got his name right. It was Darren. We didn't know how to spell it. And if you made a mistake, you made a mistake. I apologize to Darren for that, but Twitter guy, douchebag.
It was the auto correct that made the mistake,
Yeah,
though.
but
is what
even-
you're
Yeah, it
saying.
was the auto.
Even
Fuck autocorrect. I hate that.
Even if it wasn't a mistake, the guy was douchey.
Oh, well,
The Twitter
I don't
guy.
know what happened,
But I'm apologizing to Darren because I didn't mean to get your name wrong. I should have proofread it before I hit post.
We still did Darren we had a good interview.
That was a very good
We
interview.
love Ahoy.
Yeah, we love Ahoy.
Yeah.
We love Ahoy. Check out Ahoy Comics, which now I totally missed it somehow. It stands for Asshole of the Year.
yeah, you didn't know that?
I honestly did not. I thought I had gotten my wires crossed somewhere where I thought it was like adventure, humor, I don't know, on something.
That's what they listed in the comic at
Right.
one point, yeah, which was just what they want it to mean.
Right.
It's not what the name actually means.
Yeah, there was some kind of
not the
award at some
originated-
point called
Yeah.
Asshole
Yeah,
of
an
the
Asshole
Year.
of the Year where they get
And-
together once a year.
Yeah,
and
so this
have
is
a big party.
If you're not really familiar with all the Darren talk, Darren's a really cool guy. He's an employee there, and they had a presence there, and these are the guys we talk about a lot with Captain Ginger, Stuart Moore, and Tom Payer.
Yeah,
and,
The Wrong Earth
The Wrong
and
Earth, and High Heaven,
Second
and
Coming,
Second
and-
Coming. Which, by the way, I read the first issue of Second Coming.
Really good, right?
It was really good, and it actually welled me up a little bit at one point.
Yeah, I'm so glad
there
they're
was
publishing
there
that.
was a brutal. There was a brutal moment with the Crossmaker. Did you read that? And
Yeah,
Jesus, where
yeah.
Jesus just like hugs him and says it's okay. I'm not
yeah,
even
I
religious.
know.
I'm not even religious, and that got me like fucking right in the heart.
It's a great book.
Oh my god, yeah. So Lou, what else? All right, so Ahoy, great stuff. And just to clarify, for anybody out there with my anger issue there a second ago, it wasn't Darren it wasn't Darren himself who had corrected us about his name. It was some guy on Twitter that just I don't know what that was. He
can
about.
suck it.
Yeah, he can suck it. So
good.
we're here to promote Ahoy. But Lou, who's next on the list of new pint friends or old pint friends?
Oh, wait.
Oh.
Stuart Moore. Stuart F-Bomb Moore. Where were you?
Yeah, no, he wasn't there. That's for sure. Neither was Tom Payer. But you know what?
Well, Tom's up in Syracuse. Stuart's in New York. I mean, come on. Hop the fucking train.
That's close enough. Come on.
Yeah, really. Next year.
I'm going to let you do it because you did it on the video and it was funny. A certain Thomas Michael Ryan.
Oh, if it isn't our favorite local artist, Thomas Michael Ryan. I still think his nickname, or I asked him, I said, is your middle name Matthew? Because that sounds, Thomas Matthew Ryan. Now, we love Tom. Tom Ryan's studio, Tom Ryan's with S studio. Tom was there, like, again, the joke has been made a million times. I'm going to make it one more time. You wake up in the morning to get your underwear, Tom Ryan's, in your upper fucking dresser drawer.
Hey, how you doing?
Trying to sell fucking, and successfully, I'm not saying trying.
Hey, you want to buy enamel pins?
Yeah, would you like to buy a pin? Hey, you need some Yoshi pins? Tom also supplied us with, we're going to be drinking them later on tonight. We've talked about it a bunch of times. Tom does all the artwork for the cans of a beer company out of Delaware called Mispillion. And he gave us a six pack, so we're going to be cracking. We're going to be giving us a 6-pack.
They are cool looking cans.
They are cool looking
too.
cans.
Yeah.
He's got all different ones, and
frame 'em.
maybe we'll do
Tweet
a
that
video.
out.
We'll do a
Yeah.
video with the different cans. Check that out.
Oh, he's going to love that one.
But I guess Tom did very well. He had another good week. So he's buckling down because pretty soon it's time to go to Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Tom was going to Cincinnati for a fucking show. This guy is
The Cincinnati
It's hardcore.
Expo or
some Comic-Con. I don't remember
the
what.
Comic-Con out
but
there.
like
There's a few of them out
he's
there,
he's Tom is like we joked around about
Going to Bengal.
we joked
Fest.
around.
Yeah, BengalCon.
We joked around
Bengal
about
guy.
Andrew Morgan with the Nomcast one time is have podcast will travel. Tom Ryan is have art will travel.
Yeah.
He doesn't give a fuck where he has to sell that art. He'll sell it. And he's got fantastic stuff. Actually, this show he showed us, his newest piece was a Into the Spider-Verse Miles Morales.
Yeah.
That was very cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Tom's a good artist, and
He's got so much stuff that every time we go to a show and I look at his table, I was actually saying to him, I have to go onto his website and I have to buy the stuff because I carry so much with me
Yeah.
already, and it's very hard to transport.
He's been doing free shipping.
Yeah, he's got all kinds of great deals.
Well, you know what the funny thing is when I was going through making the list of the people we talked to, and I'm going, oh, you know, he did Doberman and he did Street Clothes, and then Tom had this, and I'm going, and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I got to go on these people's websites, and I actually have to buy this stuff because I can't carry it at a show, you know.
And Tom has, you know, he doesn't just do comic stuff. I mean, I've got a Tom Ryan print on my living room wall. It's one of his awesome, like, kind of animal things he does.
I have a Samus from Metroid I bought from him years ago in my living room.
Yeah.
And it's like the thing is, it's one of the centerpieces.
Call it
of my
Samus,
living room.
huh?
Yeah,
I always called it Seamus.
Samus.
That's the Irish Metroid.
Yeah, okay, I guess so. But Seamus sounds better to me.
Seamus! Get back in here, Seamus.
Well, remember, it's a girl.
Yeah, I know.
So,
yeah,
Seamus.
I know.
But yeah, so I've had that Samus for ages. That's like the first thing I ever bought from him.
Yeah,
That was
I
it.
recently.
I think, when did I get it? Because I remember you had actually, you know, sent me a picture of that from one show, and I said, I need that in my life. And then we were at, like, the show immediately following.
It's hard.
I think it was actually a TerrifiCon because I remember the carpet.
It's hard to nail Tom down with what show because he's literally every show.
Literally everywhere.
He's not one of those guys
No,
that you, like, see once every bit.
You
in a while.
send me the picture, and then the next morning after I got out of the shower and I went down in the basement to get like my T-shirt for work, he was actually in my basement with it, and he was like, "I heard you like this.
Can I hang it on your wall for you?
Yeah, can I hang it up?
Would you like to buy this, Lou?
I've got his original Nosferatu.
Yeah,
Framed in my house. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, we'll see Tom very soon at not CT Horror Fest, but we'll see him at BingCon. All right, Lou, what else we got?
We got Adam Walenta.
Adam is all-star.
Taco.
Punk Taco. It's an all-ages book. We talked about it a million times. Him and his son, Makana, did that together, and it's fantastic. And they're right in the middle of a big move. They're moving out to Cali. Adam and the whole family moving out there and taking Punk Taco to the next level. But, yeah.
Adam makes me feel like a failure as a father.
Why?
just because like he's created this comic book with his kid,
with
and
his
he's like
kid,
dad
yeah.
of the year, and it's like, man, what the hell have I done with my daughter? I mean, every now and then
Come
I play
on.
video
Come
games.
on.
Lou.
You're getting dark there, for Christ's sakes.
Your dad,
No, I
man.
mean he makes me feel inadequate. Like I feel like I have to like rewind time and just start over with Casey.
I was gonna say you could maybe start to have another one. Have another one.
No, God,
start from scratch.
No.
All right, then fuck it.
I am too old.
All right, Adam Walenta, check him out at punktaco.com. We love that guy.
Yeah.
Todd Bot.
Todd.
John, tell us all about Todd Bot. This fucking guy was unique.
Well, you did the video with him.
I did, but we went back to him like 9 fucking times.
Well, yeah, because there's a guy. All right, so we discover him on Friday. You know, there's this guy sitting behind a table, and he's got a little
Very
sign out.
unassuming looking guy.
You know, little cartoon books on his table. Yeah. He's got a file holder full of little prints that he has. I mean, what are they? 3x5 or something like that.
Yeah.
And we see the sign. We'll draw you in crayon for $1 in 1 minute, and it will be awesome.
Yeah.
And we just kind of laugh it off. And as we're walking by, I think you were like, "Fuck it, it's $3.
Yeah,
Let's
I
do
want
it."
$1. I want a print for $1.
Yeah.
So we did it, and it turned out to be awesome.
Yeah.
And it was just a snowball's ride from there because it was.
And we got all six, the whole 6-pack.
All six of us. We got Sophie,
Yep.
and I wouldn't.
I'm still
you
in
bring it?
possession of mine.
No, that will be coming. I won't
I
even
may or
attempt
may
to.
not have started a fire with it.
No, I already told Jody that's not allowable.
Nope.
I would only defer to tell people to watch the video with Todd.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't
Nothing
even,
against Todd.
I
just-
couldn't even begin to explain what he does and how he does it.
Let's put it
It's
this
just
way.
a very
With, like,
simple.
with the story randomizers
Right,
and
the
everything.
randomizer. He's a very smart man. I mean, as we saw him on Friday, I see behind him on the chair is a book of Jim Jarmusch.
Yeah, he's
And I'm
reading
like,
a Jim Jarmusch film book.
You're like the only one here reading this, and he goes, "I think I'm the only one in the country reading this."
Yeah.
And I'm like, probably. I mean,
Todd is one of those delightfully weird dudes.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
He fit in so well.
And
It's
what was his last
first-
name? Was it Weber?
Webb.
Webb. Okay, Webb.
And it was his first year here at TerrifiCon, and obviously did very well.
He says he goes to San Diego and
Yeah.
cleans up.
What's so brilliant about that scheme he had?
It's just what a great way to bring
It's
people
his
in.
card, right? He just draws on the back of his own business card,
Right.
and you give him $1 so he can give you his card.
Yeah.
No, Todd's a smart dude.
It's brilliant.
But it's just the greatest icebreaker ever.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
It just
You know
brings
how many
in.
people I saw going to him and how many people that we knew I saw Chad Davis had one.
Oh,
Chad's
yeah.
like his lady friend had
Yeah.
had one, and all these people, and I'm like, holy shit, this guy, that one little sign might have been the most impactful sign I saw in the entire
Absolutely.
show.
Oh, definitely.
You know,
Well, he had told
Definitely,
that story in the video where he's drawing like a person and then like a girl, and then they became boyfriend and girlfriend,
Yep.
and he drew them, and then they got
And then the
married, and he drew
kid,
them,
yeah.
the kid, and it's like,
and then like the other part of it is like he draws pictures, and people are sending him that it's their Facebook photo.
Yeah.
Like, the guy's got a good thing going. Plus, he also does music. He was selling CDs there,
Oh,
and he
yeah.
said he was a musician.
Talk about it.
And
Multifaceted individual.
Yeah, Toddbot. Do you have is there a website, toddbot.com?
yeah,
or anything?
toddbot.com.
Check out
He's an Olympic volleyball player as well.
And he's got a Patreon, so you can check that out too.
Yeah, give us that website one more time.
Toddbot.com. TODDBOT.com.
Cool. All right, what do we got next?
Much like Thomas Michael Ryan, do we really even need to say robber barons?
Robert Barron's Inc. Oh man, so we saw Sal Funk and Russo was there on Sunday.
Yeah.
And those guys are just they're fucking aces. I don't want to go on forever about them because if you want a cool T-shirt that ranges anywhere from like pop culture to food, weird food stuff.
Yeah.
They're now going to make a killing because they've always been doing it, but now they're doing it more. They're selling reusable bags. Guess what? You need
the
those
totes.
now more than ever.
Yeah.
Tote
Especially in
bags.
this state.
Especially in Connecticut.
Go to Robert Barron's Inc. INK.com. And they have shirt sizes from small to 4X, and they do all kinds of crazy shit.
And they're the official shirt supplier of the pint.
They are.
That's
They
right.
made our shirts, and
Special design.
And I felt so bad because I was talking with Funk. We were talking about Alan Davis, and I think Jim Starlin, and he wanted to get a signature from Alan Davis, and I was so upset because he had no line afterwards, and I wanted to get him and get his book so I can go bring it over there, and he wasn't around. I think that was Sunday.
well, you know why? Well, he wasn't there Sunday because Funkomania was running wild.
Yeah, Funkomania is wild.
No, we love those guys. And
Yeah.
also another added shout out is that they're always willing to work with us on stuff. Like I bought the giveaways for Chad's show through them. They're always willing to give me cards with our stickers on them and give people money off.
Yep.
They're awesome guys, and they also let us use their booth as a bag depot that whole
Although
weekend.
I do take umbrage with the fact that Sal doesn't like raisins.
Yeah, that was
A
weird.
lot of people don't like
that was
raisins.
That was a weird conversation because raisins really.
Yeah,
I'm
but
not a huge raisin
they're
fan.
very divisive. Raisins are.
I never realized it.
I didn't have a chance to say it that day because I was behind the camera. But Sal, not liking raisins really.
Yeah. Oh, and Sal has been on. I talked to Sal like a year ago about doing a Pint Movie Invitational.
Yeah.
And he finally nailed down his movie for sure. So we'll get it done at some point.
All right.
But we'll get that done. Heat. The Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, awesome.
Not the California Raisin movie.
No. All right, Lou. Who else do we have?
The best.
Oh, Ron Garney. Ron Garney, man.
Ron
There's not much more I could say than that. Ron is just. Well, first of all, we won't even get into the what's. I don't want to talk about the what's. But me and Lloyd got Ron so fucking pumped up over some shit.
Yeah, it was first thing Saturday
First
morning.
thing on Friday.
Or Friday morning.
First thing
I'm sorry,
on Friday.
morning.
Ron, he kind of went a little crazy on that.
Yeah.
And then he calmed down, and then and just we saw him over the course of 3 days, and he honestly is one of the friendliest.
He's the
dudes out
best.
there.
I love talking.
He
to Ron.
really is the best, and not
and
just
he's just a fantastic artist.
not just because we like him or because like he's done the show, but man, that guy can fucking draw.
He can fucking draw.
Oh, look at John! John with
Whatever.
Howard. John has Howard Chaykin's dick.
Yeah.
so far up his man cunt.
Wow, my man.
Right up his man cunt.
His bussy.
Right, yeah. John's got Howard Chaykin's balls
Right up the
in,
pussy.
in his boy pussy, and then we love Ron. We love Ron. All right, so and if you want to, we'll throw this out there too. If you are a fan of Ron, he said that I think his next thing coming out is the annual for Savage Avengers.
Yes.
So
I can't
that'll
wait
be
for
out,
that.
I think, pretty soon. So Lou, who else do we have?
Keith Gleason.
Keith Gleason.
Yes.
Keith is the writer of Mighty Mascots and the guy behind Plastic City Comic Con, which we went to in July. Me, you, and Chris Rodell in Leominster, the donut capital of Massachusetts. Another great time. Check out PlasticCity.com and go to Alternate Comics, and we could probably kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Yeah.
And we'll kill 3 because by the time this episode comes out next week, you can go to WESUFM.org and stream our episode that we talked to Peter Samedi, the guy who runs basically him head dude in charge over at Alterna Comics.
As we talk, it will be out on Sunday night.
That's right. That's right. So,
But as
Yeah.
this is released,
It'll be
out on Sunday night.
it hasn't happened yet. This is the lovely part about recording a podcast. It hasn't happened yet. By the time you hear this, it already happened like 3 days ago.
It's the
So
time
yeah,
warp
you're in a
effect.
time warp right now.
So it's like future past right now.
Future past
It's
right
like,
now.
This is literally Days of Future Past.
This is.
Yeah.
Except it's good.
We're living it.
It's better.
Time
Oh,
is
the
not
comic was
linear.
awesome.
It all happens
you're
at
right.
the same time.
That's right. Yeah, yeah.
Colonel Weird.
What was it? Yeah, Colonel Weird. It was a time. What was it? Time is a flat circle.
Yeah.
All right, Lou. Who's next?
Aftershock Comics.
Aftershock Comics
yeah.
were there, and do you know the name of the gentleman we
That
talked
was
to?
Mark, wasn't it?
Was it Mark? Yeah, I believe so. Very cool guy. Very kind of upstart, 4 years comic company, but they've done a lot of cool stuff. They ton of fucking who works there.
They came on the scene so hard.
Well, it's not who works there.
Yeah.
It's who's been having books published through them.
Who has?
Yeah, so,
yeah.
I mean, you got Garth Ennis.
Right.
And you got, who else has been there?
Colin Bunn.
Colin Bunn.
Cullen Bunn, Tim Seeley, Warren Ellis. I'm just saying
Ellis?
names that.
Yeah, Ellis had one there.
Shipwreck, book called Shipwreck.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. I mean, a lot of big names have gone to Aftershock to do books that no one else will publish.
Right.
So, and they're taking risks, and I like what they publish.
It was great seeing them there too because they had
Donnie Cates.
Donnie Cates. They brought like a ton of books.
Yeah, they had a lot.
They brought a
so,
ton of
yeah.
books, and it was just it was their
they also
space
had
was
that-
smaller than I would have believed, like normally thought it would have been.
Yeah.
But you know what? It seemed like as we went over, there was always people over there and always people
I
picking
think
stuff
what
up.
it is for a lot of these smaller publishers like Ahoy, they're not going to want to take a risk with a big booth at a con that they don't know anything about.
Right.
So it's a step into the puddle and finding out it's a hell of a deep lake.
Yeah. I bet you next year we'll see a bigger presence.
Oh yeah, I think so.
All right.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I hope so too.
And if not, same size booth, fine. That's
Yeah,
great. Come on back.
I'll buy more stuff. That's for sure. Who else we got, Lou?
Well, we didn't actually get him on YouTube. He was Facebook Live, but of course our friend Rich Smith.
Rich Smith Robot. We love Rich. He's man. He was killing it. Yeah, he was constantly doing.
Rich was drawing me a picture of Nightshade and Marvel Girl in their original skirt costumes.
You're so weird.
Doing a scissor action.
What?
And it
With
was
Rich?
Oh man,
the Rich Smith scissors.
Scissor Sisters.
Rich actually had a little. I'll have to pick it up from next time I see him. He had like little sketchbooks filled with his art, and then he was. If you
Yeah, he
bought
would
it,
draw
it
a
was
sketch on the
$20,
front of it.
and
Yeah.
we saw I saw Dan from BoomTube earlier this week.
Oh, did you see that? His swamp
he
thing.
had a swamp thing done on his, and Rich has posted a couple on Instagram. Overwatch, I know that's something that gets Lou fucking all misty down south.
Did you see the Earthworm Jim?
I did see the
Yeah,
Earthworm
that was
Jim.
awesome.
Did you see that
Overwatch, he
Earthworm
did some
Jim?
character
He did
from
the
Overwatch.
Brigitte, I believe it was.
Okay, I don't
which
know.
Was,
That one's for you,
which was
Rich.
incredible.
I don't know
I
what that
actually
means.
showed
See,
that to a couple people.
You know, I have.
and they were like that, and I'm not even kidding. I showed that to a couple people who were seriously into Overwatch, and they said
Seriously?
and even more than I am. And they said that they
Aren't
thought,
you like in the top 10% of
no,
players?
no, that's Destiny.
Destiny.
That was
Okay.
EverQuest.
They said that his design for Brigitte was actually better than Blizzard's.
prosciutto.
Yeah.
That toast
Brigitte.
with like tomatoes on it.
Bridget, but-
bruschetta.
That's
You-
bruschetta.
You're talking about the
Brigitte.
Italian ham prosciutto.
No, I'm talking about bruschetta.
Oh, okay. Have you ever had prosciutto on bruschetta?
Yes.
Yeah, it's delicious.
And I hope I'm not mistaking who drew.
Well-
Yeah, no, it was Brigitte because
It does sound like you're saying prosciutto.
no, but it's not prosciutto.
I would love to see Rich
That's an Italian meat.
I would like to see Rich draw an Italian meat on the
He drew
Maybe
me
a-
an Italian meat.
maybe a pimento loaf.
Yeah.
Draw an Italian meat with maybe
With shit coming out of his eyes.
Chun-Li riding it. You know that would be.
I'm gonna just for Christmas
Oh
get him to do you
God.
some weird lesbian shit for
This
you.
is the stuff I do to him every time we go there.
Yeah,
And I saved it for last because I knew it was going to make Johnson happy.
What?
Howard Chaykin.
Oh well.
And we already talked about it, but
Wait,
Sir
there's,
Howard.
there's more.
no,
You
that's
saved it-
the list.
That's the video list.
that's the video list.
Did we talk about Templar
Oh, Chronicles of Templar. Yeah, you know what? Yeah,
We missed
and
that.
Ezra Veatch?
We almost missed them at the show.
yeah.
wow. I actually have them on my main list, but when I went to write down all the web addresses,
Well,
I-
it was Ezra Veatch,
Yeah, Ezra,
son of
yep.
Rick Veatch.
Yeah.
And him and his friend Ed Jandruski live up in Vermont. We had a very lively discussion about New Haven pizza versus the shit that they serve in Vermont. And Ed Jandruski is a New Haven kid.
He
so
was dropping the F-bombs like no one's business.
He didn't give a fuck.
Yeah,
that
my
Sophie
daughter was right
standing
there.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, Double
Yeah,
E
that's
Comics.
all right.
So you
What was
have
it?
them, Double E Comics. Yeah,
Double
have
E
them on the
Comics.
main list.
All
Double
right.
E.
It's the
I
freedom.
didn't forget about you, I swear.
It was a black and white kind of monsters and swords and sorcery kind of book, but it was very cool. And Ezra,
Yeah, there was a bar wench that turns into
she's like the hero of the
yeah,
story.
like a hero. Yeah,
Yeah, and Ezra Veatch was basically just talking about how he's never really done much in comics.
right.
This is like his first comic work. He's an artist, and a lot of his stuff was very cool that he showed us. But he didn't follow his dad's
Right, he
path
didn't want to
necessarily.
ride on his dad's coattails
Yeah.
either.
But he was very cool, and it was just surprising to find out that.
And I
was,
bought his Swamp Thing print. It was
You
was
did.
awesome. Not print,
That's
actual
the
art.
family.
Yeah, what's that?
That's the family. You know, Tom Veatch and Rick Veatch, and
Who's Tom? I don't. Is Tom Veatch?
he was.
Was he?
Yeah, did work on Swamp Thing too.
Oh, okay, all right.
Nope, they're
Not
all
an artist,
fantastic.
He was a writer.
He was a writer.
Yeah, mostly.
Okay, all right. Is he still with us?
Yeah.
Or? Okay.
Yeah. He
all
did
right.
inking too, I believe.
Journeyman.
Journeyman.
Man, I feel bad that I didn't do that.
Well, we
no,
don't.
no, we said it.
We don't want to miss them after the little dust up I had with Ed Jandruski at the show. Which let's just go bones out, and I'll fully admit it. So Sunday morning ish, we were walking the con floor, and we had just done a couple of things, and I just wanted to kind of wander. And Ed we was trying to hawk his stuff, and he kind of calls me out. And I kind of just did that thing where I was just like, later, kind of walk by him. And then like maybe 2 hours later, we were talking to ex-guest of the show, Chris Taylor Bodette, and his girlfriend Kira. And Chris says to me, my buddy Ed has a book. You should talk to him at some point. And it's called like Chronicles of Templar. Now, meanwhile, let me go back a minute.
And
in
that
the
guy
story.
called you out so hard.
let me go back a minute and add to the story. After I didn't pay attention to Ed the first time or didn't go over to the table really, Lou said to me, he's like, you just blew that guy totally off. And I'm like, and I was kind of indignant. I was kind of like, I didn't blow him off. I don't have to fucking talk to anybody. I'm like, I'm just trying to fucking like kind of chill.
I'm Johnny Ganache. I talk to who I want to.
No, not that.
You do get a point where you're just tired of everyone shouting at you.
Yeah.
to come over
Right.
to their
I just
table.
didn't want to come to the table.
Well, I mean,
At that point.
I mean, honestly, let's
And
be
we can't talk to
100%.
everybody.
Let's be 100% honest here. By that point, we had so much video and so many interviews. I think when you were going off to look, I had said to you, I'm going to go out in the lobby where the cell service is better, and I'm going to get some of this video up, posted up, because I just had interview after interview after interview, and I was trying to get the stuff rolling on social media over the course of the day. So I was actually planning on, at that point, taking a break for a little while to get some of the videos up that we already had. And I had said to you, I think that guy wanted to talk to you, and I mean, you weren't like, you just, I know you played it up a minute ago here, but you actually said, yeah, no, I know, we'll get to it later. I just need to take a break, which was more what you had said.
Right.
And then,
But you were
flip
like, you
back
blew
around.
that dude off. I'm like, I don't think I blew him off. Well, anyways, just to get through the story.
Hey, we've all done it.
We've all done it.
Yeah.
And so Chris tells us, my buddy, and as soon as he said Chronicles of Templar, I went to myself and went, that's the dude. How are there literally 800 people here and that's the guy? But I'm like, and then I remember the name because he said Ed Jandruski, and he's actually liked our page for a long time. He comments sometimes.
Yep.
He's liked stuff. So now I feel like a double creep. So now, and here's where I made a mistake. I go back over with everybody, and what I should have said off the bat was I should have ignored the last one, and I should have said, hey, dude, do you want to do that thing now? We have some time.
Yeah.
And he probably would have been for it. My mistake was I said, hey, man,
Yeah, you did.
I'm like, we're buddies with Chris Taylor Bodette, and he had mentioned he called me out
Yeah.
fucking hard. He's like, oh,
He sure
you're,
did.
you're friends with Chris Bodette. Now I'm worth your time.
And I loved him for that. That was awesome.
You know what? I told
Great.
Lindsay that. I told Lindsay that story,
So
and I
sorry
said,
I missed it.
oh yeah, I felt like this big. He's like, oh, so you're friends with Chris. Now you want to talk to me? Is that how the because Ed, every other word's fuck. He's like, so is that you want to fucking deal with me now? And I was just like, I get it, dude. You want to do the video? And he's like, well, I don't, now you want to talk? And I'm like, let's talk. Let's get past this. Let's talk. And then he He immediately cooled down.
Yeah,
and,
he was so excited about his book, and they sold a lot of them.
They sold.
Yeah.
I think he said they sold out. If I'm not incorrect.
I should say, Lou, how many views has that video gotten?
Yeah.
As it sits right now, 2,609, which is
So,
by far
that's on
the
you,
largest
Ed.
post we've ever
So
had.
thanks,
Yeah.
Ed.
So,
So
yeah,
you're calling Johnny Ganache out.
Hey, you know what? I'll be the first one to admit when I make a dick move, and you know what? I'll be the first one to admit that Ed is a good man for calling me out on it. You know.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Sometimes the best friendships are born of conflict.
That's true too.
And it's just one of those things that, like, you know, I'm sure we'll see them at other shows because, you know, honestly, they have the skills, they have the passion and the enthusiasm. So, you know, you're going to see them around. But, like, we're always going to have that genesis.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So no matter how long we know them or we talk to them in the future, they make more books, they go on, they do. Or this is the only book, who knows? You know what I mean? But we're always going to have that story where we're going to be like, hey,
that's the
remember,
origin story.
you want to hear the origin story about how John blew these guys off?
We'll always have TerrifiCon at Jindrzewski. All right. So, John, was there anybody that we ran into that maybe we didn't interview or talk to that you want to bring up real quick? Like any friends of the show that we?
Well, let's start right at the top and go with Barry Kitson.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's not for Barry Kitson and was it the first year we went to TerrifiCon together and ran into him and got all kinds of fun stuff with him. We didn't interview him this year, which we kind of wanted to, but he was so busy.
He never stopped drawing.
He never did. He got. I told you guys this. I was talking to Jerry Ordway at one point, and Barry gets up from the table and comes over to talk to Jerry, and he's literally cocked his head sideways and it's not moving.
Yeah.
And I said to him, like, Barry, when was the last time you stood up? He goes, I don't know. It was like 6 hours ago I sat down.
I got a crick in my
Or
neck.
I suppose I could do it with the English accent, but I would murder his English accent.
Yeah, he's a super cool guy.
Barry is great, and Caitlin Reynolds, who I love, she's fantastic. She makes sure that Barry lives.
Yeah,
because I think he'd forget to.
Yeah, Barry's super cool. Who else did we talk to there? Jeez.
Oh well, my friends, the Frame brothers.
The Frame brothers, they were very cool.
Brendan and Brian Frame, who again, first year there, and they did very well. They will be returning. They told me. The minute the tables are up for sale, they will be there the minute after to buy their spot.
They did awesome.
So we'll see them again next year.
Talk to Buzz for a few minutes.
Yeah, Buzz
is awesome. Buzz is another guy like Tom Ryan that he's at every show. Every show I went around.
Buzz knows too much about me, so I just try and keep it on.
He's a fucking great artist too. What a great fucking artist that dude is. I'm just trying to think of anybody we ran into that's
C.P. Wilson III.
C.P. Wilson.
Oh yeah, you were talking to him.
Who was that guy we talked to? Estevez or
Liam Sharp. Liam Sharp, who I've known for his art for a long time. Never met the guy. Another from across the pond, as it were. He just moved to California. We're gonna get him for the radio show, so that's gonna be a lot of fun.
Current artist of Green Lantern.
Yeah, here's a
weirdest signature ever, by the way.
Well, again, here's a guy that's been doing art for a long time, and now suddenly he's hot.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Doesn't matter when it happens.
No, it's true. Yeah. I mean, we did talk about that, and he's like, you can't figure the fans. And then there was Ben Goldsmith from
Source Point
Press.
Source
Point had a great weekend with him, talking about all the books that they've got coming out from Source Point, the books that they have out from Source Point. I believe they sold out of their Ogre compilations.
I'm so mad at myself because I missed that. I really wanted to pick up that Ogre.
One of my favorite books of last year. So
yeah, you love that. You wrote that awesome review.
Sequel is coming out, I think, starting September.
Yeah, Bob Sally, right? Yeah. Bob Sally's,
Or being solicited in September, I should
say. We talked to him again, ex-radio guest, and he's at a lot of cons too. Gatekeeper of all the horror statues, Larry Elig.
Oh, Larry Elig.
We chatted with Larry for a while. Larry's a fucking savant when it comes to these movies, these Universal horror and all these.
I'm really mad. When you guys were doing the last few interviews, I was running around taking pictures of people that have been on the show for one reason or another, and I forgot to get one of Larry. And Larry's got this.
And he's got a future plan, too. He's got it all mapped out. Cool he's a fun guy.
But my favorite booth of the con, Espresso Pesto and Johnny C.
Johnny C, yeah.
Espresso Pesto.
Is that the coffee guy?
That's the coffee guy. It was the best booth of the show for me. I was there every day buying a big fucking cup of coffee. And we had numerous conversations. And while I'm standing there, not just in line, but after getting the coffee, I talked to a number of people that were listeners of the show or have...
you know what's funny? Is I'm drawing a blank on his name, but you talked to a kid that you took a picture with.
That's Mitch.
Is that his name is Mitch?
Yeah.
last year at the CT Cult Classics Chainsaw Massacre night.
He said he was there.
Yeah, and it was the night that Larry had the barbecue set up outside. And he came up to me and he's like, "Are you the guy from Behind the Comics?" So when I saw the picture of you, I'm like, "This guy is." We both met this guy.
You know who he is?
Film.
He was one of Professor Bill's students.
Okay, all right.
So he was there. I did a panel on Sunday, a Black Panther panel that Bill Foster was running, and Mitch is one of his students. He recorded the whole thing for him.
Okay, very cool.
So it was
very cool kid.
Very nice little serendipitous thing. As I'm standing in the coffee line talking with this guy, and I'm showing him the business cards. Like, oh, you're one of the Pint of Comics guys. Yeah, I listen to you guys all the time.
Yeah. I met him at Cult Classics. That was weird.
Yeah, but Johnny C was awesome. We talked about everything from GPS units to how he roasts his coffee beans.
And he was the one that had now does he write a book too?
Yeah.
So if you buy the book, you got a coffee.
You got a coffee, yeah. And I don't. Did we even buy the book?
I didn't.
I don't think so.
Stupid ass. I didn't buy the
think I
damn
forgot.
thing.
I forgot a lot.
We'll get him on the radio. We'll get him on the radio.
I've got his card at home, and I'm gonna get in touch with him because he was awesome. I got a couple of good pictures of him too. And then we saw him at that shitty restaurant afterwards.
Oh,
yeah. Oh, yeah. Right.
Arugas.
Fucking
where I had a peanut butter and jelly hamburger. That was interesting.
Wait time in history.
Bacon hamburger.
Yeah. Jesus. Yeah, that place. The less said about that place, the better. Lou, you had your hand up. What's going on?
Yeah, and the one video I actually have left because it's the most editing intensive one. How could we forget about Matt Ryan from Free Lunch Studios?
Oh, yeah.
Matt Ryan.
Yeah, Matt's super cool. We see him all the time at
I got some when you guys were walking around, I was trying to get some pictures of him. His table was loaded with gamers. He had a family of like 20 kids all around. I'm snapping pictures. He's like, "Oh God, I haven't put any of these pictures up yet. So when I do, you'll see it."
That's good because I didn't like his spot. He seemed a little.
I think it was a good spot. I think he needed it too because he had the table with that.
Yeah,
he needed.
Well, no, I get that, but he didn't get as much traffic. I think.
Well, no, because it was near where they were playing the Magic tournaments. So it was supposed to be a whole gaming area.
Yeah,
and
King of the Monster Mountain.
Yeah.
Is his game, and he had the con version, super big version,
super size.
And John, myself, Jody.
It's fun watching people play that.
Clay from BoomTube Comics, and another gentleman who went to the finals with John. We all played together, and it was just a super fun time. And we took a video of it. This will be up on YouTube at some point pretty soon.
And the picture I took, as I'm standing there talking to Matt briefly, these kids are going back and forth with each other, like, if I go this way, you go that way, and he's loving it as they strategize as to how to get further up the mountain.
The game, lends a lot to trash talk too.
Yeah, and there was like 20 of them around the table, and there was one big family. It was awesome.
Yeah, Matt's really cool. FreelunchStudios.com.
As a matter of fact, Sophie just asked me yesterday, Dad, am I ever going to do that art class?
Yeah, you've been talking about that
guy.
for a long time.
It's just so hard with the schedule.
Yeah, why don't you maybe get her out of like one soccer league, But bring her
well,
down.
She's going to high school now. It's only one.
Get her down to 6 soccer leagues instead of 11.
Maybe have it take her less than like 45 minutes to eat a salad.
Yeah, true. She's a very slow eater.
Yeah.
Speaking of Sophie, do you know she won a raffle there?
You did say you texted me something about that.
She got a fucking bag full of stuff. She got a Polaroid camera, all kinds of accessories to go with it, lenses.
Did she get a time travel?
About
win the
5
1982
shirts
prize
and
pack?
3 baseball hats and all kinds of shit.
Did she also?
She would was AMC Eagle wagon?
Was there like a slinky in there?
She won a slinky, AMC wagon, a Betamax copy of Blade Runner.
No,
she got lawn darts. And now to announce the winner of the 1981 prize pack, it's Sophie Green. Just what every 14-year-old girl wants. 8 is enough. The complete series
on beta.
She's gonna fall in love with.
No, she's really happy.
What was his name?
Slightly loved Teddy Ruxpin.
Yeah. What was the
Willie
fucking
Ames?
kid's name? No.
Adam Rich.
Adam Rich. Yeah. Remember when he burned the house down? Oh yeah, I used to watch that show.
Yeah.
Everybody watched that show.
Dick Van Patten.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
But she came up with a freaking big bag of loot. The Polaroid camera is pretty cool. For Blacklist, it was like an anti-tobacco.
I was starting to wonder if they got to you because you kept on bringing it up to me. I'm like, are you trying to get me to sign this shit up?
No.
Is it a cult, Lloyd?
Yeah.
No,
I made sure.
No, we're gonna have to deprogram Lloyd.
Yeah, really.
No.
We're gonna have to deprogram.
No, it's just the anti-tobacco movement and also the anti-e-cigarettes and all that stuff too.
What about chewing tobacco?
Yeah, anti-everything tobacco.
Okay.
What about Big League Chew?
Anti-chew.
Even Big League Chew?
You're in the big league. Chew.
No, I think they might be okay with that.
But that might have come in the 80s prize bag.
Yeah. Yeah, a really hard package of Big League Chew.
All right, let me think here if there's anybody else. Oh, so
Well, I got one.
Also,
I got someone.
while you guys were out getting the last videos, I went up to talk to one of our guests, who was one of the big guests.
Larry Kinney?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Larry and I had a nice little chat, and I got some pictures with him and his nieces, which are kind of amusing. But he's willing to come back on the show.
Good. He was great to have on.
He enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, he was super cool.
Yeah,
he was super cool, and he's the fucking voice of Lion-O. So
Yeah,
I mean,
right?
you can't go wrong there.
He's the Skittles man.
And let's taste the rainbow. Let's not forget on Saturday night, Lloyd and myself had a pretty awesome conversation with.
This is what I was going to bring
Go
up.
ahead,
Yeah,
go ahead.
Derek Mears, and for those of you who don't know that, currently he plays Swamp Thing on the DC streaming service.
Well, not so currently anymore. But
Well, most recently, let's
yeah,
let's
most
say
recently, yeah.
that. Something my wife and I watch weekly, actually every Friday night.
And that was
watch
his
it.
voice. That's his voice in the show. Yeah.
Yeah, he plays the Swamp Thing. He acts the Swamp Thing, and he does the voice of the Swamp Thing.
He was also Jason Voorhees in the 2009 reboot.
Yeah.
And I had to look it up to figure out who he was. He's listed in Predators, the 2010 Adrian Brody talks like this the whole movie.
Yeah.
There was several Predators in that. There's he's classic Predator. There's a bunch of like newer Predators, and there's one that's like the Predator from '87. He's that one.
Yeah.
He's kind of like the main Predator at the end of the movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what I'd like to say is I'm not a fanboy of celebrities and stuff like that. I feel kind of awkward going up and trying to get their autograph, but I went up to him just to say, hey, I just really like your work, and I think you're great in the Swamp Thing. And he was the most gracious human being I think I've ever met.
He was really friendly.
He's like, oh, what's your name? He shakes your hand with two hands. He's like, oh, thank you for coming up. He's talking about, makeup for the Swamp Thing and all that. And he was just a great person to talk to.
Yeah, super nice guy. What a good time. Speaking of Swamp Thing, I want to throw out there that we a couple of friends that we know through the show that we saw there as well. Brendan Fremantle, who's going to be doing an art show. He was with his girlfriend Madalena, and then me and Lou.
Brendan, I'm going to get you to do a tattoo for me.
Yeah. Did you see the Swamp Thing he put on Twitter? The painting he did.
Yeah, I did.
That dude the dude's skills are
awesome.
unreal. And then his friend Casey McKenna, who recently had a baby with his wife, I believe her name is Emily. They brought the kid to the show on Sunday. Me and Lou ran into him, and I just want to throw this out there because great name, Peter Parker McKenna. So that dude's a real comic fan.
All right.
Peter Parker McKenna, and they brought him to the con, and they were it was a good time to see something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Baby's first Comic Con. He's like 3 months old.
He had a fun little costume. They had a
G.I.
little
Gary's.
Spider-Man
They had him in a
costume for
Spider-Man
yeah.
costume.
G.I. Gary's son came
G.I.
too.
Gary-
Was that probably his first Comic Con? Maybe.
Came and they were gone within 5 minutes, I think.
He took off like a rocket.
Here's the funny story, and Gary listens, so he'll hear this. I didn't tell him this. So I was talking to Chris Bodette and Kira.
Right.
And
yeah,
you
we
guys
were all there.
We
There's
were
a
all
big
there.
group
You
of
guys
us.
were behind me.
Yeah.
Kid goes running across the fucking.
yeah.
Kid goes, and I didn't realize Gary was there.
Gary's a sprinter.
As
apparently.
I'm talking, so kid gets loose, runs across the con floor. Me, Chris, and Kira see it, and I said. Then I see the dad running, and I said, "That poor motherfucker, like trying to chase this kid down." Catches him and then turns around. I'm like, oh, I know that dude. It's Gary. And then like they came back. I kept talking to them, and then it happened again. And I saw Gary's wife and Gary chasing them, and I was just like, man, Gary's kid's got a lot of fucking energy.
Right.
He's got a lot. He's a great kid. He came over here one time. Gary came to bring me some comics or something. He brought the kid over. He ran around my couch in the living room. I don't know how fucking many times. He did. He
Now,
just
this kid has a name, right?
Caleb.
Is it Caleb?
Caleb. Yes. Yes.
Right. We keep calling him the kid.
Well,
I'll tell you what, though. I really think Gary needs to try out for the U.S. track team.
Yeah.
He did.
I mean, he's got some sprint speed.
He did. For a guy in his mid-30s,
He's got the start down, man. He could take off like a shot.
Yeah, he did pretty well.
But I think
I'm
his
thinking
wife,
US
his
track.
wife caught up with the
Get
boy,
there.
and I think she's like, "Beeline, we're leaving."
Yeah, I think that
So,
was it.
I don't think we saw Gary after
I want
that.
to bottle whatever Caleb has, though.
Yeah,
I mean, the amount of energy he has is...
Yeah.
Well, I think we all had it. It was called
insane.
3 years old or 4 or 5 years old, maybe. All right, so TerrifiCon, go to TerrifiCon.com. It's already been announced for next year. Luke, can you look up the dates for next year real quick? So, but Mitch, you put on an awesome show. We had a great time.
Yeah,
Did
thanks
we
again,
did we
Mitch.
say
It was awesome.
just?
Oh, sorry. It
When
was
my cousin
terrific.
Gary came, he was there, right?
Oh, we mentioned
and,
that, like-
and Sherry, we did.
We mentioned that in the beginning of the
Gary
show.
and Sherry.
Gary and Sherry were both there.
Yeah.
They enjoyed it. Gary wore his Spider-Man shirt.
He did. He did.
August 14th, 15th, and 16th, 2020.
2020. So
All set for next year.
you got plenty of time to get your tickets, and you could also get a little bit of an appetizer if you enjoy games and go to a CT GamerCon, which is normally March or April is usually when he holds that. That's in the ballroom. That isn't necessarily needed to be as big as
It's
TerrifiCon,
growing,
but it's
though.
growing every
We've gone
year.
every
Still
year,
pretty
and
big.
Still pretty big. So
It's amazing. It's something to see.
I give TerrifiCon a fucking A+. I had another great time.
Yeah, 2 thumbs up.
And again, not just because we know Mitch and Mitch has been good to us, but
It's a good show.
The dude puts on a good show, and if you're a comic fan, he gives a fuck about that. So, the celebrity angle of it is nice. I don't want to see more.
It's perfect the way it is.
It's perfect, right? And I think I could be right. Val Kilmer was there, Billy D. Williams were there. Those are some of the bigger names. Tony Todd was there. I think this year the celebrity quotient was smaller than last year. Last year, Macchio was there. Henry Winkler.
It seems like it's the same amount of people. He had a lot more.
John Wesley
voice
Shipp was there as
talent.
well.
Yes.
There's a lot more voice talent for cartoons or video games, and getting them to sit on stage and do an act together. It's on YouTube now. I shared it on the
Twisted
Facebook
Tunes,
page.
right? They got together and read the script to Back to the Future.
Back to the Future.
Yeah, I got to check that out.
It's kind of amusing.
Because that was Rob Paulson and Maurice
LaMarche.
LaMarche, Phil Lamar, maybe.
I forget if Phil Lamar was in there or not. But and it's amusing to listen to. It definitely is. And then Mitch is on stage with him. So
Phil Lamar, the only time I actually really saw him out from behind his booth, he was wearing a T-shirt that said, "I'm cosplaying as myself." And I just thought that was funny as hell.
it's fun because you get to see these guys walking around the floor without having to wear a mask.
Yeah.
And that's kind of cool.
Yeah. So I think in the end, what's going to come out of this is that in an hour and 15-minute long show, we probably missed someone we saw. We probably missed something that happened there. Tim Truman.
Yep.
But you know what? We can't go over everything necessarily unless we want to be here all night.
Really, it's huge.
but
It's a huge show.
It's a huge show.
Well, think about the people you missed. I didn't get to talk to Mike Grell. I didn't get anywhere near him all weekend.
I never even physically saw Val Kilmer, which I mean, I
don't think he was out
They
beyond
had him
that.
behind curtain.
It was that curtain area, so you had to go in
I
there.
only barely saw the Batmobiles.
We went down and saw the Batmobiles.
Yeah, I just saw just a one quick glimpse. That was it.
Yeah,
I saw Howard Stern.
that dude.
the Howard Stern guy.
Dude, the Howard Stern guy walked by at the same time
This is weird, isn't
that
it?
the Gary thing happened with Caleb running, and I was talking to Chris and Kira again, and Stern walked by, and it was like such good cosplay, and that dude looked so much like him,
So much
that
like
it
him.
made me turn.
And he said, "I'm not even trying."
Yeah.
Right. He walked by me just after I went to see Larry Kinney, and I'm looking at him like, Johnny Ramone? And I'm like, oh, fuck, it's Stern. And so I go, hey, man, nice Stern. And he goes, yeah, thank you.
Yeah. He fucking looked just like him. That was maybe some of the best cosplay I saw that whole weekend.
There was some good. Did you see the guy in the Iron Giant outfit?
That was rad.
Oh, wait a minute. How about that dude that sat with us at lunch?
That person actually won the cosplay contest.
Yeah, he
Did
did.
they?
Yeah, the Iron Giant. Yeah.
That was on
that was
stilts.
awesome. The Iron Giant.
That was incredible. The guy,
insane.
me, Gary, and Manster here were sitting down having pizza or fucking the Impossible Burger or whatever on lunch on Saturday, and just this dude straight out of Warcraft.
Yeah, no, John gets up to throw his trash out, and at the same time, this dude goes, "Hey, can I sit in that chair?"
As
Sure, go
we're
ahead.
talking to him, he's got this fucking prosthetic
Oh yeah,
warthog teeth sticking out, and
he was loaded down with stuff.
He's talking about his his sister's life is like Seinfeld, and after we got up and left, I said, this is the only place that could happen.
Yeah.
Where it's not weird that a fucking orc warrior sits down and who has like fucking tusk for teeth, and we're just talking
While
about
you're eating lunch, and he talks about his sister.
Yeah.
Well, here's a weird thing I didn't even think about till after the show was over. I didn't even go anywhere near the casino this year.
No, me neither.
No.
I mean, it's so easy to get in and out of that place without having to go see it or get near it. And I'm like, God, I had a pocket full of quarters I wanted to throw into slots, and I hear that Mitch hit it big on the Iron Man slot.
Yeah.
So
Oh, we also saw Fuzzy Duck. I don't think you saw him.
Fuzzy Duck.
On the way to Howard Chaykin, remember we were walking down the hallway, and I got pulled aside? That was Fuzzy Duck from our Pint of Comics, Jeremiah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was there with
right.
his wife Bailey.
Oh, okay.
And a coworker.
I don't think I talked to him.
everybody was getting pulled aside.
Evan was there from the Boy Scouts again.
Yeah.
Running the room, making all these.
Evan Kyle.
Evan Kyle chilling out again. All right, we got to go. This show's running
really.
a little bit long. In the end, though, seriously, 10 out of 10. Go to TerrifiCon. If you're starting to think about your plans for next year, Set aside those dates in August and make the trip into Connecticut if you're not from Connecticut.
Do it.
Do it.
People came from Australia.
I did want to bring that up.
That's nuts.
Gary said that. Gary had told me that a couple, I don't know if it was guys he knew through Facebook or something or
They
Twitter.
posted all over the place.
They came to Australia for the show only. It wasn't like they came from Australia for something and came to TerrifiCon.
Right.
They flew from goddamned Australia
to come here.
and then they flew out on Monday.
Damn.
That's like, if that doesn't get Mitch's hackles going,
Yeah.
nothing
It's
will.
gotta.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big deal.
Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
a lot of airtime.
Right?
like, you might as well fucking like
A lot.
you might as well figure out time travel because that's a long
Yeah.
flight. You know what I mean? All right, so that's where we'll end the
There you
show.
go. That's where you end it.
TerrifiCon is good enough to fly from fucking Australia for. So if you're maybe like in Michigan and you're wondering if this is a good enough show, dudes came from Australia.
Yeah.
All right, see ya.
It's over, Johnny. It's over. Nothing is over. Nothing. You just don't turn it off.